Hey everybody, I'm Chris. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you're a returning subscriber. If you are, thank you so much for coming back. Today we're gonna play in my Black Friday haul. This isn't like a huge haul, because I noticed when I was shopping for Black Friday for makeup items, everything that was available with a discount was like old stuff. And if I was the type of makeup artist that needed to rebuy things, that would be great. But I'm not. I like the new things instead. So most of this stuff wasn't discounted, but I still bought it on Black Friday. So it's a Black Friday haul. Also, a couple of these items were sent to me via PR. There are a couple of really awesome deals on a couple of the items that I got, so we're gonna talk about those as well. So if you'd like to see what products I got and see how they look on, stay exactly where you are because we're getting into it right now. To start, I went a little ham on eyeshadow palettes, but they also have face pans inside of them. So the way I was looking at it and the way I justified it in my mind is that I'm buying an eyeshadow palette and 3 complexion products with eyeshadows included. It made me feel better about my life anyway. The first palette I picked up from Sephora is the Natasha Denona Retro Glam palette. They also had the new My Dream palette, which I really thought about getting, but I thought this color story was a little more interesting, a little less nudie. So I thought it'd be a little more fun to give this one a shot instead. Plus, I really liked this packaging more. This is so cool. Every single one of her palettes is really pretty. And so you can see the inside. See what I mean about it being a very interesting color story? This is something very different, something I don't know that I've seen before in a palette. Let's start with the shade Sage. We got some pigment already. One layer, no more applied, nothing blended. One layer. And let's pull things out a little bit into my little wing shape here. I'm trying to make sure that I only keep this in the outer side of the crease too, because I want to go in with that fringe shade and use that on the inner half of the crease. I think that'll make a really nice transition. This is when everybody gets scared and runs away because they're like, oh my god, what is this guy doing? Now, like I said, gonna use the shade Fringe for the inner crease. For this shade being more on the pastel side, I'm kind of impressed at how quickly it built up. Each side took about 2 dips into the pan, so it was like nothing. However, it is really powdery though. Now gonna blend everything out with the shade Lucy. Giving me mushroom vibes, for sure. I don't know quite how I feel about that shade 100%. I think if it was by itself, I'd probably be able to tell better if I liked it, but it's just really hard to tell. It looks like kind of the same tone as my skin tone if I was blending the green out. That's okay though, not a big deal. It's gonna be covered up by brow bone highlight anyway. So moving on, now we're gonna go into the darkest matte in the palette, which is in fact not that dark. It's the shade Faye right here, and it looks like it's the darkest matte. That's sort of disappointing because I do really like to deepen up the outer corners of my looks, and I don't think this is really gonna deepen it up too much, but we'll see, it might, who knows. Will you deepen? Is it? I don't think it is. Yeah, that's definitely not doing what I need it to do. So instead, I'm gonna try to take some of Faye and a little bit of Belle and see if I can't maybe combine those two to make some deeper brown, just to deepen up the look a little bit. I mean, I don't even need a lot, just a tiny little bit of depth. That's working a little more. You know what? I'll take it. I will take it and run with it. That is okay. I can work with that. At least it transitions a little bit to the lid instead of just being flat green. I don't know that it's darker though. I think it's just a different color. Crease is done. Now I'm gonna pop off camera really quick, cut my crease, and we're gonna go in with Flare. I'm so glad there was a red in here and a couple of pinks. That way, it's not just a monochromatic green look. I just did 6 of those. It's time to move on from monochromania. Now, Flare. Since there isn't a darker matte shade in this palette, I'm gonna kind of improvise with one of the shimmer shades instead. And it looks like Jazzy here is the darkest shimmer shade. So that's gonna go on the outer corner of the lid. Come on, Jazzy, let's see what you got. Oh, are you gonna be dark enough? I think you're gonna be dark enough. We're just gonna fill the whole outer V with this shade. Actually, I might even pull it in Well, I say I might even as I do it, but I'm gonna pull it in further across the lash line because I really like that shade. That's a really nice way to add a little bit more definition right along the lash line so that the lashes look a little bit thicker once you get mascara on. Oh yes. Oh yes. And it is helping blend the transition between the crease and the lid. Thank you, Jazzy. You've saved the day. Let's go into Flutter for some brow bone highlight. I'm gonna go off camera one more time, clean this mess up, zoom out my camera, and we're gonna move on to the face. Ooh, now that I'm zoomed out, this could be a really cute Christmas look. I didn't realize it was Christmassy until I really saw all of it, and it's like, oh, red and green, Christmas, got it. Anyway, moving on to the face. I used to get this deep crease serum from Perricone MD when I worked at Ulta. Really, mainly I used the sample every day until we stopped carrying Perricone MD at our store. That serum though is like $120 for like a half ounce or maybe an ounce or something. I don't know, it was really expensive. So I've been looking for a dupe and I picked up this ordinary niacinamide 10% zinc 1% facial serum, and I'm really hoping the niacinamide in this will help smooth out the little 11s up here, the forehead lines, maybe partially some of the crow's feet. I just know I'm tired of paying over $100 for a serum that actually does a really good job, but I need to find a dupe. So we're gonna see if this will act as a dupe. 3 drops, trying to keep everything pretty concentrated in the areas where I have the deepest creases. Then with everything that's left over, just gonna rub that in everywhere else. After the serum, I did a little bit of pore filling with the Winky Lux Whipped Cream Primer, and now we're moving on to yet another serum, and this is the Great Skin Instant Glow Serum from Merit Beauty. They sent this over as well as a Flush Balm Cheek Color in the shade Raspberry Sorbet. That shade I think is gonna go perfect with this look. This glow serum is packed with a ton of ingredients. 2% niacinamide for brightening, 4 types of hyaluronic acid for deep hydration, caffeine-rich cocoa seed extract for plumping, Japanese gold thread root for soothing and antioxidant protection, and pH balanced for a healthy skin barrier. Instantly hydrates and plumps skin for a smooth, glass-like appearance, leaving skin calmer, brighter, and more even over time. Designed as a base for the Minimalist, which is their own complexion product, or for bare skin. Okay, they're talking glass skin, I gotta get into it. It says just take 2 to 3 pumps, so that's what I'm gonna do. Oh my god. Wow, this feels really interesting. It's not oily like I thought it was gonna be. I was expecting just a really, really wet oil, but it almost feels like silky soft on the skin. And it actually looks really, really good. Super glowy, really just naturally radiant. Foundation is gonna look so good on top of this. Merit Beauty is having a Black Friday and Cyber Monday sale. This is their only sale of the year. So if you wanna get any discounted Merit products, now is your opportunity to do it. The sale is currently already running. The last day is the 28th. So the day I post this video is the last day of the sale. So if you wanna jump on it, jump on now. You get 20% off site-wide any individual products, and not to mention there are daily doorbusters where you can get limited edition deals on some of their most popular sets. My favorite product of theirs is the Perfecting Complexion Stick, the Minimalist, because it takes so little product for you to get a nice even layer of coverage. It's the kind of product that gives you minimal coverage but maximum payoff. Oh yeah, I was gonna mention this whenever I was cleaning up under my eyes, but I was using a makeup wipe and I was just using my regular like Neutrogena makeup wipes. I picked these up at Ulta. These are the Hydra Boost with Hyaluronic Acid Ultra Soft Cleansing Towelettes. There are some nights when I'm just really lazy and I don't feel like using my makeup erasers, because that would mean I have to get out of bed and go to the sink and wet it, and that's just too much for me at night. But anyway, I don't like using a makeup wipe and then leaving the product from the makeup wipe on my face. It just makes me feel like I didn't really clean it. So I'm hoping that using something like that will actually cleanse my skin and make me feel nice and clean before I go with my nighttime skincare products. But if you guys have tried the Hydro Boost makeup wipes, let me know what you think. Should I just not even open them and return them, or are they good? Do you like them? let me know. I'm gonna knock out my base real quick, mixing my two favorite foundations at the moment, the Makeup Forever HD Skin and the Haus Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation, and I'll be right back. For concealer today, we got the Milk Makeup Future Fluid Concealer. I picked up the shade 4N, and was it just me or did anyone else have any idea that this launched? I hadn't seen anything about this concealer until I walked by Milk at Sephora and I was like, I've never seen those before. Those must be new. So I picked it up, but I figured I would have seen some kind of advertising or marketing for them beforehand. Okay, moment of truth. Here we go. The wand is strange. That's a different kind of wand. I don't know that I've ever used one that was pointed like that. At least not for concealer. I think maybe for lips I've used something pointed like that, but never for concealer. Anyways, let's see. Let's do a little bit under the eyes, pull up my cheekbone. Feels pretty creamy so far. It's even gliding on creamy, like it feels like it's kind of like the JOAH Essential High Coverage Concealer Pen. It sort of feels like that. And it said it's an all-over concealer, so we're gonna use it all over. That looks so good. Super, super smooth, really hydrated, but I think that's actually the Merit Great Skin Instant Glow Serum. I mean, that stuff is making my skin just look plump and healthy. But the concealer makes me look like I had some solid sleep last night, and that was not the case. Now for bronzer, using the Yensa Silk Bronzing Base. Now let's go in with the Flush Balm Cheek Color from Merit in the shade Raspberry Beret. I'm gonna use a duo fiber brush and just grab some pigment. And just gonna tap that off on the back of my hand and go right in. Oh, I was right. It is perfect with this look. This formula is so good, but the color, oh. I think the color's my favorite. Just because it's that middle ground of pink and purple. It's not just pink, it's not just purple. You get a little bit of both, the best of both worlds. Did I overdo the blush? Maybe a little bit. I gotta see if I can blend some of this away. That was very intense. Yes, 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 yes. Oh my gosh. I love that so much. And this freaking serum, do you see the glow that I have on my skin? It just looks healthy and plumped. I don't get to see that on my face very often. Now I think everything that's left is powder products, so I'm gonna set my face, we're gonna move on, and just hope for the best out of everything else. I know we already put some blush on, but let's add some more. At Sephora, again, I found the Patrick Ta Major Headlines Blush Palette Volume 2. I didn't even know there was a one, I haven't seen the one, but I bet the 2's gonna be fantastic. Oh, this is really cool. It's got 3 cream blushes and 3 powder blushes. I thought it was just a powder blush palette. Well, I've already gone in with cream blush, so we're gonna skip that with this palette, and we're just gonna go in with one of the powder blushes instead. I literally dropped this as I was walking to the register to check out, and I opened it to be sure that there was no damage, and it looked fine, but now that I look at it, I bet you this pink pan is gonna fall out at any given moment. So I'm not gonna put this sideways or anything, I'm just gonna sit it down. We're gonna be safe and gentle and go in with the pink shade. Actually, no, scratch that. I'm gonna go in with both of these shades. And I think they're shade names. Giving Flirty and Giving Sunkissed. Those are the names. I really don't know how this is gonna turn out. I'm slightly terrified. Okay, she's cute. Pretty pigmented, but not way too pigmented. I'm not like immediately scared of it. You guys, I may have to find volume 1 now. This looks perfect on the skin. I just need more shades. Now for our very last product, the Too Faced Christmas Bake Shop. And this is so adorable. I literally only got this because of the packaging and because it said it had face pans in it, but mainly because of the packaging. It also says that it smells like ginger snap cookies, chocolate chip cookies, and sugar cookies. What? No, they didn't. The cookies are on the cookie sheets. Now all that's missing is a spatula. Oh, there's a mascara in here too. Oops, well, too late, but that's really cool. You get a mini Better Than Sex mascara in the bundle. This one is the Ginger Snap palette. That looks like maybe a really light blush. Definitely not gonna be the highlighter today. Oh, it does smell like ginger snaps. That's so good. And the shades in the palette itself are actually really rich. This is a pretty deep palette. In the chocolate chip palette, ooh, that does look like a highlighter. Thank goodness we have one. This looks like it's more of sort of a mid-tone palette. And the highlighter shade is called Resting Wish Face. And it smells like chocolate chip cookies. Ugh, I'm gonna have the munchies after this video. And now the sugar cookie palette. That's a blush as well. Ooh, that's a really light palette. Super taupey, mauvey nude. I think this is probably my favorite, especially because it has that weird random mint shade in it. Love that. So in the chocolate chip palette, let's see what Resting Wish Face looks like. Oh, she's cute. Right now, it doesn't look like a super crazy, insane highlight. Well, I don't know. That is actually pretty bright. It's all in the angles, guys. It's all in the angles. Okay, that is super glowy. Why is this highlighter literally the perfect shade for my skin tone? That kind of sucks for anybody that doesn't have my skin tone though, because you just wasted your money. I know it's kind of weird, but I sort of love the fact that I bought an entire bundle of palettes for a highlighter. But I needed a highlighter and they didn't have just one. I mean, I'm sure I could have bought one, but they didn't have just one in the front of the store with all of the new things. And I needed the new things. I'm gonna go ahead and pop something on the lips just to finish the entire look off, and I'll be right back to give you guys my final thoughts on my Black Friday haul. And we are back with the lips done. For the lips, I used a little bit of the Gerard Cosmetics lip pencil in the shade Ecstasy and the Color Your Smile lip gloss in the shade Divalicious. Perfect pair. So what do you guys think of the look I created using all of my Black Friday haul products? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the Milk Concealer, if you guys have even heard of it, or if I was the last person to find out about it. Also, let me know if you've tried the Ordinary Niacinamide Serum. If you have, what kind of results have you had over time? Does it seem like it helps with your creases? I'm just really hoping it can replace my Perricone MD without me having to pay that kind of price anymore just to make my creases look not so creasy. Speaking of getting rid of my creases and making my skin look amazing, this Merit Great Skin Serum is beautiful. It doesn't leave an oily residue behind. It feels amazing on the skin. It plumps, it smooths, and it's glowy and dewy. Not greasy, not gross and wet, but glowy. And it just makes my skin look super healthy. And being a dude with really big pores and really textured skin, something like this is a lifesaver for me. It just makes me feel confident in the skin I'm in. If that's not a slogan we've heard a million times. Same thing with the Merit blush. It was beautiful. I knew it was beautiful, and I already knew it was going to be beautiful because I already have one in the shade Cheeky. I do really prefer the Raspberry Beret shade though. I feel like it can pair with more eye looks than the Cheeky shade can. At least for my eyeshadow repertoire. The Patrick Ta 4 Face Palette. I wish I hadn't used a cream blush so I could try these cream blushes, because I know the Patrick Ta Cream and Powder Bronzer Duo is fantastic. It looks so good on the skin. The cream melts right in, the powder goes right over the cream, no problem, no bunching, no skipping, no nothing. So I'm sure this is gonna be just as good once I can use the cream and the powder together. The only thing I don't like about this are the shades. I personally maybe would have liked to have seen something outside of the pinky red tones. I mean, I know this is more of like a melon or a coral, and this is more of a pink, but they're so close together that I'd rather have something with a little more range. But like I said, I haven't seen Volume 1. I don't know what shades are in it. This is probably a great extension to Volume 1. These little Too Faced palettes are so cute, and they smell really, really good. If I were to buy them again though, I would definitely gift 2 of them and keep 1 for myself. I don't actually know which one. Probably the sugar cookie with that mint shade in it. It's just too cute. But I think this is an amazing gift idea because you can get 3 gifts in 1. Who doesn't like to save that kind of money? And finally, the Natasha Denona Retro Glam Palette. You know, unfortunately, I was kind of disappointed with this palette, but that is only because of the depth. Now, I probably shouldn't have attempted to go for a deeper crease using this palette. Just at first glance, it looks like it gets pretty deep. So you look at it at that first glance and think, oh yeah, I'll be able to make a deeper look and at least fill in the crease with something dark. That's not the case unless you use a shimmer in the crease like I did, because literally all of your matte options are like light pastel-y kind of shades. None of them are deep enough to really add dimension or depth. I like that in a palette a lot. That's kind of what I use to hide my hoods, so I like having something darker. But knowing that now, the next time I create a look using this palette, I'm gonna keep that in mind and see what I can't create just keeping it on the lighter side and knowing I'm gonna keep it on the lighter side. I went into the look planning that I was gonna go from light to dark, and I think that's where I kind of messed up with it, but it still worked out in the end. I think the look that came out of it is stunning. I think you can get plenty more looks out of it, and this Flutter shade has my heart and my brow bone, actually. Oh, and I almost forgot the concealer. How could I have almost forgotten the Milk Concealer again? This one actually didn't cover quite as well as I thought it was going to. I still have some of the gray under my eyes from the purple and blue sort of peeking through. So maybe the coverage isn't quite what I was hoping for, but the finish and the formulation of the product itself goes on perfectly. It blends out perfectly. It looks great. Just now that I'm looking at it after it's dried down and set, I can just still see some of that discoloration from my under eyes peeking through a little bit more than I normally do, but that could even be a matter of just leaving the product on for a little while longer to let it dry down before I blend it out. And that's okay. That's an easy solution and I can do that. Anyway guys, that is enough from me for tonight. I hope you had fun unboxing my Black Friday haul with me. If you did, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up just to let me know you enjoyed the video. Also, let me know what you guys got for Black Friday. What did you order? Or are you holding out for Cyber Monday? I still have a few things to get for Cyber Monday. Let me know in the comments. You guys know that I'm always hanging out down there with you, just chilling, just talking, so let's talk. Also, if you like this look and you want to see more looks like them, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and TikTok. My username is the same for everything. It's just ChristopherJMUA. I thank you guys so much for joining me today, and I will see you in the next one.